we've often attracted what we call the bright young things. I'm certainly not in that category, well, not young anyway, hopefully, but Mike is one of those bright young things. Mike, what attracted you to Tomorrow Today?
Sure. Tomorrow Today is just one of those companies that does such a great job at looking further than our noses. It seems to have an ability to perceive what's actually valuable in the future, and that was important to me. Being young in this environment, it's important for me to be able to learn from mistakes. But what Tomorrow Today says is, don't just learn from mistakes, but take a look at the future and let's start to work towards that future. And having a long career ahead of me, having a lot of time on my hands, as to say, in the future, I'd like to be able to make great decisions now, and Tomorrow Today is one of those companies that allows you to be able to make those great decisions for the future.
Let me tell you how I met Mike. I got a call from him, didn't know him very well, through a mutual friend, and Mike wanted, I guess, mentoring would be one way to look at it, and wanted to start his own business and wanted some help and some guidelines. I spent 40 minutes with Mike and realized that I had more to learn from him than I suspect he had from me, and so went back to Mike and said, I'll give you as much time as you need, drink as much coffee as we can, but in return for that I would like you to help me to connect the social media dots and help me understand the new world of work from the perspective that he sees it. And Mike, it's been an interesting friendship and relationship that's grown since then, because Mike really has helped me understand an aspect of the new world of work, which of course is one of our dominant themes.
Yeah, and I think that the opposite has been true. We often talk in Tomorrow Today about reverse mentorship, and that's definitely what's taking place here. I've been a person who just eats through mentors constantly in my life. I've just needed one mentor after the other so that I can learn and grow. And Keith,
he eats and I pay.
Keith is the one who kind of saw an opportunity for me to actually teach in that environment, and it was a fantastic experience as a young person to be able to say, well, hang on, I actually have value in this situation. I have an opportunity to add value into something and still receive out of it. It finally felt like I wasn't just on the receiving end of learning, but I was starting to teach, and I was starting to share what I had and what I'd found valuable in business and in life, to be able to share that going up. So there was a sense of value that got attributed to this relationship from my side, instead of always being the one who's just continuously learning, sitting at the lap of the master in a sense. And swapping those roles out really added confidence in my life, and gave me an opportunity to sort of step out of my comfort zone and actually really coach someone. And to be honest, it's the most daunting thing in the world to coach the leadership coach, the guy who does this for a living, and I'm in the space where I have to go and coach that. So I've never spent sleepless nights until I had to start coaching Keith in social media.
You notice he did say the master.
Can we erase that?
It's been interesting, because I do think that one of the biggest challenges for leaders going forward is, how do you build a mentality that means I'm a learner leader? A lot of leaders I talk to have really stopped learning. They base their decisions on experience, on the wisdom that brings, but they've stopped learning. And I think if we want a learning organization, it starts at the top. You need to have a learner leader, and this is one area in which leaders have a lot to learn: social business, social media, and of course we speak a lot about that. Mike, if you were addressing a room full of CEOs right now on this particular topic, what would be one or two of the key things that you'd want to say to them that they'd walk out with?
For me, I would say that there's two things you need to get right. One is that your younger generation has something to offer your company. They're not just there to learn your ways. They are the guys that will be able to take your business into the future. They're going to show you competitive advantages that you never knew existed. Secondly, I would say you need to have the courage to let them run with it. Keith had to do that with me. Keith didn't guide me in how I should coach, how I should train. He just let me do it myself. He had to put a lot of faith and a lot of trust in me to be able to do that. So those would be the two. Trust the people that you're about to put the responsibility in, and then start to listen to the worldview of your younger employees, because they will share a lot of value with you.
Thanks, Mike. It really is a pertinent message, and I often talk in a leadership context, that the next big tsunami that will hit leadership is this issue of social media, of leaders understanding that they are no longer in control. They need to influence the conversations rather than try and control them. So we'd love to help you in that process as we ourselves learn and navigate the future. Mike, thanks.
Thank you.